It's another capacity Old Trafford crowd for one of the games of the season. Just under 45,000, and with attendances at 17 matches here, already almost touching 750,000, Manchester United are contemplating the feasibility of building another tier above the roof of one of the stands. It could provide 7,000 more seats, but at a cost of £15 million. The vision is breathtaking. So too is the vision on the field of Eric Cantona, just voted third in the European Footballer of the Year, and the player who manager Alex Ferguson has singled out on this New Year's Day as the reason why United are champions and runaway leaders. Well, Cantona facing his old club Leeds in a United team showing several changes from the one that put 5 past Oldham in midweek. Mark Hughes, Paul Ince and Lee Sharp all failed late fitness tests. Into midfield and back as captain comes Brian Robson, with Brian McClair asked to partner Cantona up front and Giggs playing wide on the left. It's a game that Leeds have to win, but they're handicapped by the absence of their two top goal scorers, Rod Wallace and Gary Speed, and have had to make late adjustments because of the unexpected changes in United's team. New signing David White from Manchester City is expected to support Brian Deane, with Chris Fairclough, the player, asked to pick up Cantona. Referee David Ellery is as excited about this match as everyone and has promised, where possible, to let the football flow. United begin 14 points clear, and it could be a mammoth 17 if they're victorious here. At least for a few hours, with Blackburn playing a 3 o'clock kickoff. Matches between these sides have been tight in recent seasons, several 0-0s and 1-1 draws. Kanchelskis, who's on a real run of form at the moment. Great ball down the middle for Giggs. Kelly tries to hold him back. David Ellery's awarded the corner. Giggs is having a quiet little word. It was shoulder to shoulder, but it wasn't unfair according to the referee. And Gary Kelly, the 19-year-old Republic of Ireland under-21 fullback, managed to claw back half a yard on Giggs. But it's a crowded penalty area for the first corner. And Kanchelskis serving early warning. This is him again. Robson tries to chick it over the top, but the linesman's put his flag up on this near side. Roy Keane, asked to provide goals from midfield, has already got 6 this season. A role that used to be done by Brian Robson. And Giggs closely marked too by Gary Kelly. Hasn't yet caught fire. Cantona's nice little touch. Bruce, Kanchelskis, and all the United players are finding themselves very tightly marked indeed. Leeds have come out with good discipline and with a clear intention of denying Manchester United any space at all. Robson finds it, but it's in midfield. Kanchelskis. Cantona. May well have been intended for Brian McClair, but Robson quick to take responsibility as the senior man and captain. Trying to curl it inside the top corner. Fairclough winning it twice. And White, and United's throw. Steve Bruce showing the marks of war. This is how the injury was caused. And may have been contact with an elbow. But you can't really question any intent by Brian Deane there. Well, that's a blow for Manchester United. Steve Bruce off to the dressing room, but there's no immediate signs of a substitution. Giggs tries to feed Irwin. But Kelly's got good pace in his legs and covered him, as you'd expect from a 19-year-old. He's quick, Gary Kelly. Giggs pleasing the crowd, and then was clattered by Pemberton. The tackle was late, and this could be another booking. The ball had definitely gone when John Pemberton went in. So a second Leeds player is cautioned, following the earlier one for Gary McAllister. Out by David White. McAllister was still well forward. That's Pemberton's clearance. And this is Kanchelskis. Giggs is pushed, another free kick. And United will do well to wait before they take this, because Steve Bruce is on the touchline. And he's a player who can be dangerous in the penalty area. Maybe Giggs should have waited that extra few seconds. Shot finally by Dennis Irwin, but it wasn't difficult for Beanie to deal with. And I wonder if it wouldn't have been wiser to have waited those few extra seconds for Steve Bruce to have got into the Leeds penalty area. Keane. Just over 5 minutes to go to half-time. And David White had tracked back all the way with Parker. Leeds so conscious that they can't afford to lose this match at Old Trafford. They've got to get something out of it, and they've set about the task quite manfully in this first half. Here's Cantona, and right behind him, Fairclough. And the United player wins the corner. Gary Pallister, who's come up from the back to stand on the near post, looking for a flick on. Kanchelskis struck it very well. Mark Beanie will have been very happy that that shot was straight at him. Anywhere else and it would have required an excellent save to stop it. Kanchelskis waving players out of the way. And we might have hoped for more, but recent matches between these two sides have always been tight, and goals have been scarce. '93 was a vintage year for Manchester United, winning the championship and amassing 102 points and scoring over 100 goals, but still waiting for their first in 1994, which incidentally, when it comes in this match or another, will take them onto the 50 mark. That's Robson forward. Keane had the shot, and United nearly getting the goal in the first few seconds of the second half, which would make them the first team in all 4 divisions to reach the target of 50 this season. Keane, not really at a comfortable angle, and maybe slipped as he hit it as well. This is Giggs. Running outside Kelly. But he stuck to him again and won the tackle. United with the throw, which Dennis Irwin will take. Cantona backing into Fairclough. Down by Keane. Kanchelskis just slipped, otherwise that was the best opening. Couldn't quite get the grip from the studs, but just when he needed the purchase, then Kanchelskis couldn't find it. Here's Keane. McClare tees it up for Robson. Well struck! Well, that's given the crowd something to warm their hands about. Brian McClare teeing up the chance for Brian Robson. And a push in the back, but David Ellery allowing play to continue. Cantona gets it down to Giggs. Skips away from Newson. Still Giggs on his left foot, tries to curl it outside Beanie. And that maybe wasn't the better of the options. But that ball is absolutely glued to his left foot sometimes. Newsom went with him and forced him to turn. And he never really had a clear sight of goal. Robson, dispossessed by Gary McAllister. Now Brian Deane. McAllister took it very well. Just Strachan sprinting through the middle to support him. And was fouled by Cantona. And Leeds get out of that probably as much as they could have hoped for, because there was little support. Now, is this one that Gary McAllister will fancy striking on target? Dorigo's there as well, and it's Dorigo who knocks it up. Great header by Fairclough off the top of the bar, and that's the closest that we've come to a score with an hour of the match played. And it's the set pieces really where Leeds have looked at their most dangerous. Robson. Strachan with Irwin, who did very well. Irwin to the back post. Kanchelskis arrived. What a nice bit of football by the fullback, with the confidence to outrun Strachan. A little header forward, and then got to it, kept it in play. And it was just a foot too high for Cantona, and Kanchelskis' shot hit the Frenchman, which maybe was the explanation why it wasn't more on target. Parker. United have the ball. And Hodge preventing Parker from taking it quickly. Kanchelskis. Did very well. Gets in a good cross. Giggs came off Kelly. It'll be a corner. Well, Leeds would be bitterly disappointed if they didn't get anything out of this match, having done so well. But they've got another corner at which they have to defend. Newsom had the flick on. United's throw. Cantona, shot bubbled, flag was up. Leclerc's header, but the flag went up straight away. At least one United player offside, and maybe two or three. Didn't connect with it properly, but there were three red shirts beyond the last defender. This is David White. Pemberton. And now Roy Keane. Just Cantona ahead of him. Here's Cantona. Giggs has started a run through the middle, but Kelly had tracked with him again. What a tussle it's been between those two. Absolutely fascinating. Wherever Giggs has gone, Kelly has followed him. And Leeds do, in fact, decide to make a change. A little over 5 minutes left. Giggs. Cantona! It hit Fairclough. It could have gone anywhere. He'd wrapped his foot around it and he kept it down. But it struck the man who's man-marked him all afternoon and spun behind for the corner. Officially, 60 seconds left of the 90. As Giggs takes the corner off Robson. Opportunities have been few and far between for the Frenchman this afternoon. The header down and the first time strike, which might have tested Beanie if it hadn't taken that deflection. If there's going to be a winner, it'll have to come now in stoppage time. And there isn't too much of that. It's a goalless draw at Old Trafford in the top of the table clash. And have Leeds done the rest of football a favour? Well, we shall see as the season unfolds in the rest of 1994. An entertaining match to start the new year, but there'll be disappointment that United couldn't get the goals at home that would have won it. Manchester United 0, Leeds United 0. I mean, there are some games that even in the first 10 minutes have the look of 0-0, and somehow this one did.
I think so too. We didn't get enough of the strikes at goal, and when we did get strikes, we were a bit unfortunate. Eric Cantona has hit the defender with 10 minutes ago, and Andrew Casillas has hit Eric Cantona with a shot, you know, that type of thing. But at the end of the day, I was very pleased with the performance. They showed a lot of great patience, great willingness to get the ball, and in the main, we've really had probably 95% of the game, really. And what we really needed was just a little break in the last third, and would have been very, very happy, I think.
Howard, you've had some nice things to say recently, so I've been reading at least anyway, about Alex Ferguson.
Well, you know, management's not easy. It's very, very difficult, no matter where you manage, whether it's in the Football League or the Premier League. And Alex's track record up in Scotland is, I think, second to none, particularly as he wasn't at one of the
two big clubs now.
Two big clubs. And he's come down here and he's taken on a mammoth task insofar as they had a monkey on the shoulder over the Championship. Looking at the club from the outside, you know, there's been lots of things done with the youth and so on and so forth. There's a difference between being a club manager, which a lot of us are expected to be in this country, and a team manager. You know, and I know a little bit about, because the last two clubs I've been at, I've been the club manager, and I know what's involved, and I know the expectations of a place like this. So he's coped with all that, and eventually he's given them the success they've a right to expect. But it doesn't come overnight.
Howard Wilkinson did his homework today, didn't he? Because Leeds coped well with Manchester United.
They did. I mean, in Fairclough in particular, sort of frustrated Cantona, didn't he? Dorigo stuck very close to Kanchelskis, Pemberton, you know, and McClare, wherever you look. But for me, the most absorbing little tussle was between the two youngsters. That was Ryan Giggs and Gary Kelly, of course. I mean, we know all about Giggs. We've spoken so many times about him. But, I mean, Kelly playing at right back for Leeds, I mean, really his speed here. Not many people, all right, got his arm in, but not many people would have got back, certainly with Giggs. I mean, he's caught my eye for his attacking play, because he used to be an attacking midfielder, but today was a big test for him defensively, and I thought, you know, Giggs, who was over on his favoured left side, and I thought, you know, he was probing and testing him out all afternoon, but Kelly was always there, timed his tackles superbly, as we saw on that particular occasion, and looks as if they've solved a right-back problem that Leeds have had, since Mel Sterling got injured, didn't he, late on in their sort of championship year. But he does love to go forward. Today, this was one of the few attacking runs, which he does so often at Elland Road, but there, I think Ryan Giggs saying, well, if you won't let me do that at one end, I'll make sure you won't at the other.